Perchilala. It's funny. Ratios.
Okay, boys and girls, today's lesson is ratio. What are ratios, you ask? Ratios is an ordered pair of numbers which are not both zero. Well, what does that mean? Basically, a ratio is comparison of two things. You're comparing two things. There's 3 different ways to write ratio. Let's quickly take a look at them. One, which is most popular, is a fraction. So A over B. We're comparing A to B. Another way to write that would be A to B. And then lastly, A colon B. But again, the most important thing to know is that you're comparing two things. I think if you keep that in mind, it'll make it a little easier to understand. Let's look at an example. I have 6 shirts and 2 hats. So for every 6 shirts, there's 2 hats. You could also think of it as I have 3 times more shirts as I do hats. There's a lot of different ways to look at these ratios. Now think of this. If I have 6 shirts and 2 hats, that means that for every 6 shirts, I have 2 hats. So if I add another 6 shirts, how many more hats do I have to add?
2.
That's right, 2. What if I add another 6 shirts? And you have to add another 2 hats. So you can see how the ratio is related through multiplication. Now, let's go back to our original ratio of comparing 6 shirts to 2 hats. I could actually simplify this by dividing by 2. So that means for every 3 shirts, there's 1 hat. You see what I just did? So you can set up ratios by dividing or multiplying by the same number. Let's look at another example. I actually really enjoy football. So let's take this to a football field. Nice. Look at the scenery. What do you think? All right. James walks into a locker room and notices a set of equipment. There's 4 helmets, 3 footballs, and 1 pair of cleats. What is the ratio of football to total pieces of equipment? Now, the cool thing about ratios is, whatever comes first in the word problem is your numerator, the top number, and whatever comes second is your denominator, the bottom number. So the question says, what is the ratio of footballs to total pieces of equipment? So football comes first. How many footballs do you see?
3.
That's right, 3. Now pay attention to the second part. How many total pieces of equipment? Well, let's just count. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 total pieces. And that's the second thing we're comparing. Remember what I said? Ratio. You're comparing two things. So 3 over total is how much?
9.
9. That's good. So the ratio of football to total equipment is 3 over 9. And we can simplify this. We have to find a common factor of 3 and 9? What number is 3 and 9 divisible by?
3.
3. So let's divide. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 9 divided by 3 is 3. So the ratio of footballs to total equipment is 1 to 3. For every 1 football, there's 3 pieces of equipment. Don't believe me? I'll show you. 1 football, 3 pieces of equipment. 1 football, 3 pieces of equipment. 1 football, 3 pieces of equipment. Told you. It's pretty cool, right? All right. Now, I do want to point out there's a few different ways you might see ratio. A tape diagram, a ratio table, even a coordinate plane. I'll be sure to make a video for each. I hope you learned something.
Don't forget to level up.